Gaisuku is on a change plan. What has Gaisuku's done over the last 3 weeks is we have refashioned the way we're going to be, we're re-engineering the way we're thinking in Gaisuku. The whole vision of Gaisuku right now is to move up the value chain as fast as we can, within the constraints of finances. But in addition to that, in addition to moving up the value chain, we're also opening 3 estates. So it's going up and it's going broader. So I want you to visualize what is happening there. Now, for us to move up the value chain, what Gaisuku right now produces 3 main products. They have other smaller products, but the 3 main products we produce is packaged sugar, which is our premium product, bagged sugar, which is sold in 50-kilogram bags, or as we call it, 100-pound bags, and bulk sugar. We make money on this. Gaisuku makes profits on this. We make a loss on bulk sugar. And the division is to move Gaisuku away from bulk sugar to value-added products. So we're building a short-term, medium-term, long-term plan. So let's talk about the short-term plan immediately. This is from Enmore Estate. We've just made this yesterday, the Enmore packaging plant. This, you can see, is from Blairmont. I just grabbed this from the team there to tell you that we're supplementing what Blairmont is producing. Blairmont is going to be focusing exclusively now on the export market for packaging sugar, while Enmore will be focusing on the local market. For obvious reasons, Enmore is very close to Georgetown and Region 4, where the bulk of our population live. So one of my proudest moments was yesterday when we started testing the Enmore packaging plant. What I saw in that room was a team of people came together. They met idle, dead machines. They worked for the last 2 weeks overtime into making it live. I want to recognize it was led by Chief Engineer Vijay Gobardan and his team. But I want to make sure that you understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to lift everything up to a different level because Gaisuku is real. Gaisuku is not in a mood right now to be a loser. We are going to win this battle. And how do we win this battle? By selling sugar at the right price level and the right products. And the other way we're going to win this battle is by looking at the cost chain and ensuring that we can cut out, we identify what are the value-added costs and celebrate them. And the ones that are not adding value, what we call the non-value-added costs, we're going to make those costs our enemy, and we're going to attack them. So we're going to make procurement more efficient. We're going to make sure that we're not spending too much on fluff and puff, but we're going to focus on the factory, we're going to focus on the fields, we're going to focus on the cane transportation route, and we're going to ensure that the elements that will bring greater value to Gaisuku in the short term are resourced. In that light, I want to announce that the government of Guyana has, on Monday, released $3 billion to the Guyana Sugar Corporation to do exactly that. They've listed out some capital investment projects that are going to be done across 6 estates. $2.2 billion will be put aside to help the 3 estates that were abandoned to reopen. And $0.8 billion is going towards recapitalizing the current estates. So, give you an example. Gaisuku gave over to NISIL in about 3 years ago several moving tractors, moving implements, moving elements for cane production. What we got back was several bits and pieces of scrap iron. This is the reality that we're dealing with. But because of this grant, this capital grant, so it was the greatest loss of value across the industry in the history of Gaisuku happened over the last 3 years. It is a national crime. And those responsible for this national crime, I'm calling on, we all must expose them. And if possible, incarcerate some of these criminals. It was a national crime. But we're not going to take heart about it. We are going to rebuild the sugar industry, brick by brick, and prove to those people who want to destroy it that it can come back again. Now, let's focus on this value chain. In the short term, we're going to be moving towards more value-added products. As you saw, many, many tons of these products in the bond there, all designed to go to the Caribbean and North American market. But in the medium term, what we're hoping to do is to, as you saw in the newspapers, Gaisuku has engaged in what we call public-private partnership. We're trying to get some partnership to help us to build the value-added elements around sugar. Raw bulk sugar is a challenge. Where the money is sugar-related products at the top end. So we're talking about refined sugar, ethanol and rum manufacturing, alcohol manufacturing, agro-energy. This is the level where we want to be at, so that we can make this a going concern and a viable element to the continued contribution of human development in Guyana. Now, there are many people who said, oh, Gaisuku is a loss maker. Wrong. Very inaccurate. Economically, Gaisuku has been one of the greatest contributors to the human development of the people of Guyana. And because of that, Gaisuku has to get some support from the people of Guyana in these times so it can recapitalize and re-energize so that it can take back that role. Let me make a very, very important point. Do you know that Gaisuku workers pay taxes to GRA? What happens to those taxes? It goes towards the development of Guyana. Gaisuku workers pay NIS that keeps the NIS afloat. One of the greatest depletion of wealth of NIS happened when Gaisuku, 3 estates of Gaisuku were closed in 2017. But people are not understanding these issues. It's either they're basically ignorant of their economic reality or they're just mischievous. So the reality is, Gaisuku is back and it's going places with the help of the people of Guyana. Now, so we're going to engage. Over the weekend, one of the foreign high commissioners is going with the ministers to visit all the plants in Berbice. We're looking to get private participants at the value-added level into the sugar industry so that we can bolt on maybe a refinery. We don't know the location. It's either Albion or Skeldon. But we can bolt on a refinery so that we can tap into the Caribbean market, which imports 200,000 tons of white sugar from out of the Caribbean at escalated prices, when we can do it by using the CET, the Caribbean External Tariff Route, and be able to be competitive and still make a profit in that market space. So there is money to be made if we are at the right level. The other option that we are focusing on is evaluating different options analysis. So let me come to this most important part. Gaisuku is right now writing a business turnaround plan. Only yesterday we concluded the interviews of the consultants. We've selected 2 consultants to work along in the office of the CEO. And I will be leading that effort to ensure that Gaisuku have a 5-year turnaround plan, which will give us different options on what is the most efficient way to do sugar going forward. Do we need a cogeneration plant? Do we need a refinery? Do we need a distillery? Do we need an ethanol plant? Do we need combinations of these? What is the right model we need to get to make this work? Because right now, Gaisuku is hiring over 10,000 people, and we'll be bringing on an additional 3,000 people in the new estates in a very short while. So there's 13,000 to 14,000 people, families, 13,000 to 14,000 families that are directly dependent on this being a success. If we fail, we'll be bringing great poverty to the rural Demerara and rural Berbice. Now, I am borrowing from what I heard Director Aslim Singh from GAU said at Albion, because this is not our first outreach today. And he said 60% of the workers who lost their job on those 4 estates, Wales, Enmore, Rose Hall, Kanji, and Skeldon. 60% of the workers have expressed to the International Labour Organization that their children were directly affected, meaning many of them had to drop out of school. That is criminal. The children of sugar workers, 60% of them, were affected adversely because of the closure of those estates. Well, we are going to do something about it. And we're going to make sure. I'm very, very pleased when I was at Enmore yesterday, when the ladies of Enmore said, "Thank you, Mr. Singh, for opening back the packaging plant." Well, I said, it's not me, it's the government of Guyana. I'm just the tool of the government of Guyana. The point is, we are bringing energy back to rural Demerara and rural Berbice. Now, let us focus on social contribution. Gaisuku is a very, very important contributor to the social situation in rural Berbice and rural Demerara. There's a major outbreak of drug usage in the estates that were closed and all across quarantine. I just came from Albion and they were telling me that there is a threat to sugar workers because drug addicts are there on the streets trying to rob them. We have to do something about this as a country. We're losing our youths because we're not gainfully occupying them in an endeavor of dignity. A man without a job is a man without a dignity, and that's what we are aiming to do. Bring back dignity to the families of rural Demerara and rural Berbice. So on that note, we were able to get private sector help. We're donating a tennis table to the Albion Sports Complex, and 6 sewing machines are going to be donated to a sewing class at Albion so that they can make these masks, and I'm wearing one of them, made by Guyanese, for Guyanese, by Guyanese. So these ladies and young men who are interested in sewing will be making masks with a ready-made market where they'll be selling it to the Albion estate for sugar workers. So wives and family members of sugar workers will also be gainfully occupied in producing income across the estate. So the estate is coming back in these ways. But we can't do it alone. We need the help of Guyana. We need the help of the private sector in helping us engage in these social areas. And we're going to be approaching the Ministry of Social Cohesion, not the Social Affairs or Social Work, to make sure that we can have some programs for the young people who have lost their way because of drug addictions and alcohol addictions. So I'm glad this was raised with me at Albion. Now, why we were here today? We were here today to see what happens at the packaging plant. Because as I said to you, we have a short-term plan, a medium-term plan, and a long-term plan. What we're doing is costing it right now. The short-term plan is this. This is the short-term plan. For the next 18 months, we're going to try our best to push this product as much as possible. I was told yesterday that the first shipment, the first production out of Edmore is already sold. Already sold. And this is the kind of action we want. Because when we get the money into the bank, we can basically do the right things to get back to fixing the land infrastructure, the agronomical practices, the transport route to reduce the burn to grind intervals, which is a very, very important interval in the sugar industry, and also to fix the factories, with the help, of course, with the central government.